We have some breaking news here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Stefon Diggs traded to the Buffalo Bills. Here are the trade details that just happened just moments ago. So the Vikings, they receive a 2020 first-round pick, a 2020 fifth-round pick, a 2020 sixth-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick. In return, the Bills, they get Stefon Diggs, a number one wide receiver for Josh Allen, and a 2020 seventh-round pick. Again, this is breaking news just coming across the board here. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and I'm Mitchell Renz. We want you to weigh in the comments section below on YouTube your thoughts on this deal, because for me, I think it actually makes sense for both sides. Stefon Diggs did not agree with what was going on with Minnesota and wanted out, so he gets shipped to Buffalo Bills, who were 10-6 last year and really nipping at the heels of the New England Patriots. And when you look at overall what this team needed, they really still were lacking a number one true receiver, and now you have Stefon Diggs, now you have Cole Beasley. The offense is starting to become a little bit more interesting, and they still have a lot of money to add a few more pieces. So Diggs was rumored to want out of Minnesota. His cryptic tweets, they all said that as well. And it's really interesting because today's free agency, but the amount of blockbuster, I say Netflix trades that have gone down today have been insane. And this is what I really want you to think about, because today the Houston Texans and Bill O'Brien, they traded away DeAndre Hopkins, and all they got in return was a washed-up David Johnson, who they're going to pay his contract for, a 2020 second, a 2021 fourth-round pick. And then you see the Vikings, they get, a first, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. I mean, they get all these players. But also, you have to consider this. If you're Minnesota, you did just extend Kirk Cousins. He got 2 years, $66 million. And now you're potentially giving away your number one wide receiver. But I know it's funny. I know there's a lot of cryptic tweets out there. Stefon Diggs, he's tweeted this out earlier that it's time for a new beginning. And a lot of people were like, oh, there's no way that Diggs is going to be traded. He puts out this stuff all the time because as soon as something doesn't go his way, he does this. Well, guess what? It's official. Stefon Diggs has been traded now to the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you might get hit with an ad break. While that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down. And I want you to let me know who you think won this trade. If you think it's the Minnesota Vikings, I want you to type V for Vikings. If you think it's the Buffalo Bills, type B for Bills, and I'll even give you a cop-out. If you think both teams won this trade because it works out for both, I want you to type both. So who won the trade? B for Vikings or B for Bills? So when you look at the last 4 seasons, we'll say the last 3 seasons, in 2019, Diggs, 63 catches. In 2018, 102 catches. And then in 2017, 64 receptions. He's been a solid receiver. He's gotten plenty of yards. And last season, he wasn't quite happy that he wasn't getting the ball enough, but he was starting to be able to stretch the football field. If you're Minnesota, though, so when you drafted him out of Maryland, I mean, he was a 5th-round pick. He was an absolute steal. My only question to Bills fans out there, and I want you to be honest, I love Bills Mafia, big part of Chat Sports. He's 26 years old. I know the contract is very favorable, but do you honestly believe that Stefon Diggs is a true number one wide receiver that can take you over the hump and that can put you in contention with the AFC East with the Patriots? Because if you do, you say, okay, great deal. So with Josh Allen, I think that we saw Josh Allen kind of look like a young quarterback in the playoffs this past year. Maybe now you have John Brown, who had over 1,000 yards. You have Cole Beasley, who's going to pick up those clutch first downs, who's going to get the yards that you need to get on third down. And now you got Diggs, who will be the number one wide receiver on this team. And I love what the Bills have done over the last 2 years. A very, very well-run organization right now. And Sean McDermott, also my hat that I'm not wearing, I'm tipping it to him, doing a lot of the right moves here for this Buffalo Bills organization. So I want everyone watching right now to let me know. I want your one-word reaction to the Bills trading for Stefon Diggs. One word, can't cheat. I'll say cryptic, because I feel like that's the word I need to use when I talk about Stefon Diggs. He's been kind of sending out tweets for all year, really, if we're really talking about it. So if I had to give my one-word reaction to the Bills trading for Stefon Diggs, it's cryptic. Let me know wherever you see this video. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, throw it in the comments section below. For those of you that maybe had a Stefon Diggs Minnesota Vikings jersey, luckily for you, I found a lot of price jerseys that just price dropped under $80. And again, these are Nike NFL jerseys. They are not just some random jersey that we find. No, these are high quality jerseys that you can also keep cool in. Nice, flexible, good stuff, Nike. But if you want any of these, you got to go to chatsports.com/jersey deal. So it's easy to find. I'm going to put it in the description. I'll put it in the comments section below. But it's not just the jerseys that you see on screen. It's your favorite players on your favorite teams in a whole bunch of different colors. Go take advantage of the deals before they run out. Deals under $80 for NFL jerseys. So obviously, with the Vikings moving on from Stefon Diggs, their wide receiver core looks a little bit different. So Adam Thielen, he's going to be asked to really shoulder the load here as the true #1 receiver on this team. Then you have Johnson and Laquan Treadwell. Treadwell, who the team drafted, remember, in the first round back in 2016 out of Ole Miss, has never really lived up to the hype. He is now a free agent. I will be curious to see what this team ends up doing because without Diggs, you give Kirk Cousins a lot of money. Plus, you also have to consider the fact that, well, that Vikings defense is a lot more thin because you don't have as much money to bring back some of these players. So I do think, though, this move for both sides makes a lot of sense because if you're the Bills, now you have a #1 wide receiver. But if you're the Vikings, I mean, the amount of rumors that were circulating around Diggs that he created alone because of his tweets, so you get rid of, we'll say, a little bit of a diva. Plus, with all the players or all the picks that you were able to get in the Diggs trade, you're going to be able to replenish some of those holes on defense. You're going to be able to have plenty of draft stock if you want to be able to move during the 2020 draft. And now you got some flexibility in a very deep wide receiver class. I mean, that's one of the things that I know Tom has talked about multiple times here on our Chat Sports channel. The depth at wide receiver in this draft, it's there. So with you now having 3 picks in this year's draft plus a 21 or a 4th round pick in 2021, this trade makes sense for both sides. It really does. So I'm curious to see at that pinned comment where y'all go with who won this trade because I actually might be the person that types both. I really might do that because with the Bills, Stefon Diggs, maybe he gets them over the hump at 10-6. And if you're Minnesota, you're going to be able to fill a lot of holes because you're not going to be able to bring back Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander, and some of these other players that this team is definitely going to miss on defense. So we tell you all the time, this is the perfect time to subscribe to our channel and to turn on those notifications because when breaking news happens, like, I don't know, Stefon Diggs being traded to the Buffalo Bills, we're going to be breaking it down for you here on our channel. So go ahead, subscribe, click that big red button. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description below so you can just click on the link. If it's hard to find, you can also just type in youtube.com/chatsportstv and click subscribe. But I'm telling y'all right now, this is the time of the year to subscribe and to turn on those notifications because when breaking news happens, Chat Sports, we're going to be coming at you first, and we're going to be coming at you live, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Also say this, if you love free agency, we're going to be live tomorrow, so make sure that you guys are tuned in for our live show because we were live for about 7 hours today. So Diggs, he had 63 catches, 1,130 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 2019. In 2018, 102 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So how about this? I'm going to ask you this question. I want to know, how many receiving yards y'all think Stefon Diggs is going to have this upcoming season? So give me a stat line in 2020. You want to give me his receptions? Be an overachiever? Do it. You want to give me his touchdowns? Let's hear it. Because I'm a big fantasy football guy, and I do know that y'all who watch our channel know what you're talking about. But I also like to see, because then we're going to go back a few months from now and be like, all right, who was right? Who was crazy? So watch the video. Tell me what you think. How many receptions? How many yards? How many touchdowns Stefon Diggs is going to have in 2020? If you want my prediction, my Instagram is below. Hit me up at MitchellRenz365. And if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv.